All right. Hello, everybody. Satya here. I'm both on YouTube and Instagram. And for those of you who do not know me, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a medicine woman. I am an entrepreneur, a poet, a writer. So today, I didn't put the topic on Instagram, but it is about cultivating discernment in the times of noise, a lot of noise, and a lot of things happening in the world. I want to actually just start by really checking in with you guys. How are you feeling? Where are you joining from? What's happening? What's alive within you? I see India. I see Chicago. Hello, hello. So, and I would love for it to be a conversation. So thank you so much for the love, for being here. All right. Bogota. I was just there actually. Israel, New York. Amazing. Welcome everybody. And I'm so grateful that you're here. So a lot of things happening in the world, and the it's getting louder and louder and louder. I literally couldn't get myself out from the bed yesterday. I was processing a lot. It was part my process, part collective, and today I'm feeling really actually spacious, and I'm like really grounded and anchored, and I really want to speak into the process. And what we're aware of happening is like just the tip of the iceberg. Like there's just a lot of things happening energetically, and we're purging massive amounts of karma and like density. People are saying hi to each other. Hello, fam. Amazing. So who here is experiencing massive purge in their lives? I'm wondering who's going to say no. So it's it's an interesting time to be alive. Everything is just like insane, and like we're I was tuning into this. Someone was reading an excerpt yesterday from this Mary Magdalene's book that is not even on print anymore. I forgot, like, it's not Bringers of the Dawn. That's not like, but it's like something about dawn. Anyway, if I figure it out, I'll write it to the, like when I'm posting, I can actually refer to that, but I don't really know because I haven't read the book. I just heard the excerpt. It was a quote talking about the simultaneity of the experiences, like simultaneously having this massive amounts of beautiful dawning of the golden age. Yes, thank you. And it's like simultaneity of the experience of the massive amounts of beauty opening and revealing itself within our hearts, and like massive amounts of awakening and massive amounts of like gunk and darkness being witnessed simultaneously at the same time. And we are literally in it, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're here on my page, you're somewhat aware and you're in it, right? And I just said that, like, what we are aware of happening energetically, it's like just the tip of the iceberg. We are processing so much, like energetically through our channels, and for ourselves, for our own like lineages, and also for collective, which one in the same, like they're not separate from each other. So we're doing some really epic deep work here, and it is sometimes exhausting. It is sometimes, it's like, holy shit, like am I losing my mind? And just this like massive shifts of like emotional content. Like I am experiencing this, like, oh my god, I'm like, like this, like feeling so amazing, literally just like not after 15 minutes later, like going like like going into the deep grief. And it's like simultaneously also they're existing together. So it's a lot on the nervous system. It's a lot, like, being human is like really a lot on the nervous system. So, we're navigating, and I hope you guys have tools for that. And I hope you're feeling, like you're anchored in your own experience. And I'm also, like sometimes I feel myself, okay, like I'm isolated in living in the middle of the forest, like not like, there's a lot of people here. And like I'm in my experience in nature with birds and animals and like whatever, like this is what I'm experiencing, and this is what I'm sensing, and this is what I'm tapped into. And then while I'm like going in that experience, I'm like, wow, how do people like like really navigate these things? And then this reminds me of like, not a lot of people are navigating this. So um not a lot of people are navigating, like, and it is for majority of the world. I am doing a writing on it for Wednesday Living Light. It's is it the the chaos? Is it going to be the crises for us, or is it going to be the catalyst for us? And this is not a new question, right? Like this is a, like a ions of question, like year old. Like it's an old question, but I am constantly asking to myself what I'm experiencing. And we have been, especially in this month of May, we have been talking about it. This like being at the edge of what we know, and we were walking in, just like, with a machete in our hands, and like paving a whole new way and path, like for ourselves. And for, like if you're also at the leading edge, you're, like you're feeling it for most of the people. That's why I'm like, oh my God, of course not a lot of people are tapped into this. That's why, like, I'm just like processing so much. And for those of you who know, like one of the ways to purge is burping. Oh my God. Like, just like I was making a joke this morning, like burp for the world is like my new leading edge, like literally processing. Like people are telling me things, and I'm like, just like feeling and processing, feeling and processing, feeling and processing. And yeah, like we are, like it's not, it's like, that's why what I'm telling you is like what we're experiencing is beyond our comprehension. It's like we're processing for a lot of us. And there's a lot of people who don't have capacity to feel and to process. And like there gets to be a certain level of balance in the energetic, so we're all in it together. So thank you very much for your contribution in the collective healing process and purging process. And it is so freaking challenging, everything that's like happening in like coming to surface. Like I am and like tuning into the shamanic realms and like the energies, and like I'm the student of the energies. And like like some like when I tune into some people's experiences, and like I'm not excluding myself from this, and it's insane. It's insane. And how do we stay grounded? How do we discern? There's just like not anytime soon. Like, and I don't want to feed into anything. Like, I'm all about like bringing hope and light and beauty into the space and speaking that into it and inspire that like evolutionary process into the light. I mean, I'm like all about like doing the shadow work so that we can actually, like use these times and use anything that's coming into our reality as a catalyst of our like the most amazing and highest becoming. So I'm all for that. But for that to happen, like we are in it, and it's just like there's no other way to like walk through it but through the fires. So we're in it. And like you're here, just why don't you type it down? Like, what is it that you're processing? And like I'm not majority of the time, I'm not a teacher that gives a lot of like examples. I'm speaking always into the energetics because I'm like my mind operates in the meta realms, and like I speak into the field and the shadow and the light, like more like expanded like vantage points that I speak into. But I really want to know like what you're experiencing, and what kind of emotions are coming up for me. If I'm like sharing my own experience for you, so that you're not like alone in this. I'm processing a lot of deep, 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 deep rage, like from my ancestry, like like as a Middle Eastern woman in this day and age, and like what's happening out in the world, and like it's very nuanced, it's very heated, it's like there's a lot happening. And although like I am not really speaking into what's happening in the war, and like because I'm not choosing sides, I'm on the side of peace. Yet for that to happen, we gotta really like be really discerning, because there's just this deep programming of manipulation and premeditated darkness is like really spreading itself. And this is not news, like this is not a new like information. It's been happening. So that's why it's like bringing and calling us forward and into a deeper and deeper and deeper discerning, deeper presence, deeper healing. And it's hard. And I was speaking into my own experience. I'm processing a lot of rage, a lot of rage, a lot of rage, and it's hot. It's like it's just like so my personal work is like bringing into balance of my own elements, because anger and rage is heat and fire. And I'm already like uh fire element dominant being. So it's like it's just like really a lot like for my system. So like I'm like working with it, but also instead of suppressing, just like everybody else does, what I am doing is actually really working with it and be my own rage, my ancestors' rage, and rage of the entire freaking world. I mean, not the entire, but like really tapping into those realms as much as I can. And sometimes it's too much, and I'm like, okay, like let's just like setting my energetic boundaries. So but majority is like finally through the healing that I'm doing for myself, is I finally have like access to that like deep-seated anger and rage that has been there. I knew it was there, but like I didn't have access. I didn't really have access. And finally like I am feeling safe enough for my body, for my system to show that to me. And so I'm right there with you guys. And you know emotional literacy is really, 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 really important, so that we actually stay balanced. We stay balanced, because instead of like really getting stagnant in the stories, it is so important for us to learn to work with these energies and move these energies in a way that is healthy, that is also like tolerable, right? Like for your nervous system, without getting stuck. And so like here we are. Let's go back to the entire same topic. The medicine of our times is regulating, learning to regulate our nervous system. And I know there's a lot of people talking about regulating nervous system. I'm not talking about regulating nervous system, the being really, I'm so calm. Being calm doesn't necessarily mean your nervous system is actually regulated. I am animating it because we think it is, and it's not. Regulated nervous system is just like having capacity to have like space, to have like, like more energy in like move with the energies. I can be activated, but still centered, and in my window of tolerance. So, or I can look so calm, but like if I am because I have been in this like functional freeze, and like freeze is my like one of the places that I go in my own experience. Like I can actually really see it like in people's experiences now, and like it's funny that's like what you are becomes your own medicine, like, and you actually teach it, right? So, um that becomes that feels like to the world like, oh, that person is so calm. I used to think that I was never angry. Oh God. I mean, how did I think that I was not angry while I knew I was like severely abused? Like abuse, what is abuse? That means your boundaries were crossed. That means you couldn't speak your boundaries. That means you couldn't protect yourself. And that means whatever you felt in that moment is living in your body. Congratulations, Satya. I'm like really proud of myself to be actually really, like moving this energy, because that means a whole new level of power that I can hold, and like not power over anybody, but empowerment within me, that I can speak at like my energetic boundaries from a place of love, like not like fighting with the world, because I have done enough fighting with the world. And like me against the world thing, and the whole like that was my whole emo, like I'm that's me against the world. But we don't have access to it, and we don't know ourselves enough. And it is also like I completely get it. It's tough, like like to sit in your anger. Oh my God, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to know, like to understand, to extract the wisdom, to know, to learn, like, oh, this was my boundary and it was crossed, like really being the student of your own emotions. Because ultimately, what is your emotion? Your emotions are within the moment, in the moment, teaching you something about your experience. And us humans, unfortunately, don't have space for any emotions. What does this mean? That means I'm not with my experience, because I can't be with my emotions. Someone says video is disabled. Is this everybody's experience? Can someone comment? I feel like it's happening. Who's gonna comment? Heart. Is anybody here? What is no? Like clear? It's not disabled. It's happening. It's working. We can see. Amazing. All right. So if you're having amazing, hi Neil. Hello. So yeah, emotions. Like ultimate, like it's almost like a barometer, like, okay, where am I? Oh, this is what's the information, the data for my moment to moment experience. And like going back to the state of the world and what we're experiencing, and like individually and collectively, there's just like so much data, information, and like energetics are coming to surface for us to like it's not like we're not doomed. It's not like this is not happening because we are just like evil beings and we deserve this. It's happening because now we are having capacity to actually like able to wake up to this and hopefully work through it, and hopefully like wake up is a good work, good word, and wake up to it. And if we can be in it and cultivate tools within it, we are creating a whole new template. And you are not doing it on your own. We are doing enough people all over the world like this same work, same emotions, same energies, like working through us, depending on the karma and like everything that we signed up for. But we are creating a whole new template, and we are remembering that we are creating our own reality. We are remembering, period. And that is why it's important to cultivate discernment. It's important to cultivate tools to be in it. And just like be like in the real time grid holder, real time like puzzle piece of this amazing unfolding and becoming and like dawning. We're all doing it. We're all doing it. And that like knowing that you're not alone is also important. That's why I'm telling you, like yesterday, I was just canceled. Nobody's home. I can't like leave my bed. I'm like feeling just so much, screaming in the pillows, like doing this whole processing. And that's part of my process. And I love doing it because like on the other side of it, the deeper we can go, the higher we can rise. And these things are happening, like sometimes within the day, within the hour, within the month, all at the same time. It's happening. It's happening. So nobody's really writing. Nobody's really writing. What is happening? Do we need a guide or mentor to facilitate these energies? I mean, yes and no. And yes. So it depends on your experience. And we are always learning ourselves through the mirror of someone else. Sometimes we're actually not seeing ourselves clearly, right? Because it's us, right? So that's why we need a clear mirror. And I mean, I work with mentors. I have several different mentors for different things. And like I have a team of individuals that I work with because, that's how I work and that's how I be in life. And I know how important it is for me to be who I am and be in my own purpose and dharma. So I do. And I also know how to facilitate myself to a degree. So yes and no. That's why like one of my like really big passions is to teach people these tools. Be your own medicine is literally for this. I don't want people. So, like in schools, like when I was studying, like our success is measured by like if people stop coming to you, that means you're successful. That like what I want is everyone to be empowered from within and have the tools. And there are so many clients of mine, they really need being facilitated because, like those energies and, like we were doing ancestral, deep shamanic work, you guys. Like, I mean, like every single person's approach is different, but like that's the lenses that I am seeing life through. So that's the work that I do from. And, you know, And we can only process what we feel safe to process. So cultivating that safety in your experience, in your system, is also important. And the tools and the tools. But going back to the discernment piece, the quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure. The quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure. This is a definition of discernment. And when everything is so noisy, when there's just so much information coming into your consciousness, most you don't even need to know. And because our inability to feel and be with ourselves, like we're also addicted to getting information from outside, right? So this makes our invitation for discernment even stronger and stronger and stronger. Because when we are so what is this? How do we create hypnosis? I'll tell you. We are creating a lot of stimuli for a person to become hypnotized. So what I do is I actually dehypnotize people, like in my work. Like what is happening in out there, it's like we're constantly being hypnotized by a lot of information and stimuli. And if we're not discerning, we are constantly prone to being programmed. So someone's constantly trying to program you. If you're not there and think for yourself and discern what is your truth in alignment with your values and your truth, like you're going to be part of the group. Oh, because also like as human beings, our like deepest desire is to belong, and we want to belong. What's happening? So there are so many people out there walking for, they don't even freaking know why they're walking from, why for, right? Because they want to belong. It's just like so ridiculous what's happening out there, which I'm like, it's so nuanced, so like deep, and so like bleh. It's not my like forte to speak into it, but I'm speaking into the energetics for us to stay awake to our own truth, because your truth is your truth, and I have full respect for that. I'm not here to argue with you what you believe and what you should be believing. What I'm here to actually stand for is you doing and clearing yourself enough so that you can be in alignment with your heart, and your heart will tell you the truth. But if you're filled with density in the past traumas and unprocessed emotions, what's going to happen? That will be the opening for the similar energetics to come and like latch onto each other. So you become just like this, perpetuator of like what is happening out there. That is why discernment is so important. Here we are. That is why healing is so important. That is why our like being in our center and being present is so important. How do we be present if we're not regulated in the nervous system? How do we be present if we're driven by our shadows and all this like thoughts that are just like latching? Because your frequency is also, like that's like the wavelengths that you're operating from. And yes, like the cities that we're in, and like there's the electromagnetic fields that we're in, like that informs where we're at and what we're like, because we're like radios. Like think about like you're a receiver, right? Like you're receiving all these thoughts. And if you're not actually regulated and you can create like actual clear thoughts, it's just going to be this loops we're in, and that's where we're at as humanity. But that's also what we're clearing, and this is the invite to continue your clearing. And like what I'm noticing, so when we are operating from our traumas and the certain state of the nervous system that is operating from the past hurts, that is going to create a certain level of like certain level of thought patterns, because it's also related to your emotions. So this is this loop that's happening that we are all being asked to look at. So, like I was meditating this morning and I'm like, my heart is open, like so beautiful. I'm like really tuning into this energies, and then zoop, like, this thought comes, and like my entire like meditation is like, oh my God, like what? And like, where is this? Like, it's like constant, uh, like requires us being super present, because otherwise, like if I'm not really present, I'm just going to be taken by those thoughts and feed into those thoughts, and those thoughts are create more emotions related to whatever it is, fear, worry, and agitation. And then I'm going to continue creating thoughts related to them, and I'm just going to get stuck. But like, we got to be really present, that's actually happening. And it's not the easiest job, like especially when we're bombarded with stuff. And especially like, like in times of like massive, 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 like simultaneity of energetics happening, like the dark and the light. It's just like, you know, that's why like we got to bring balance to our own elements. And this means like really also eating, like, Ayurveda like talks about our internal elements, right? So, and qigong also like like Chinese medicine talks about like this elemental existence, and working with your someone said, well, none of us are sissies, actually. None of us, like if we're here in this time on planet Earth, we're here, like we knew this, so we're in it. And like some of us are like not here to do work, and it's just like, also because also the density is also in service to this awakening. The anger, the like the greed and the lower frequencies in the shadow field is also in service to this awakening. So there's nothing wrong happening in this moment as far as the meta perspective, because this is the times we're in. Like this is the like the final edges of the Kali Yuga. So there, nothing is just like, so there's no coincidences. These things are happening, and this is all perfectly unfolding. Yet, like within the perfection of the unfolding, we got to find our, perfect, uh, unfolding within the unfolding. Like so, learning to freshen the energies, learning to be with it, and cultivate the wisdom that we have forgotten. So remembering and waking up to it, and sharing the heart frequency, sharing the love, being in service to love. And also, I like, one of the things, and we're doing in um one of the things that we're doing in the portal is mind renovation, like really going into the belief systems this summer. And like, because since I got back from Peru, I have been really being invited to, okay, like we gotta really look at all these parts, and like really like come into integrity of like at my own mission. Like it's going through a renovation, and I'm watching it in real time. And like sometimes it's like, oh my God, like, so like when we're at the edge of what we know, we got to start like thinking beyond the edge, so that we can create that, right? So but we're creating in our moods, in our emotions, in our majority, like the um, how we're operating and how we're responding to what's unfolding is informing what we're creating. So that becomes like it's like the also the invite. How can I actually, because you can completely change your entire, like, the way of your thinking. It can, just like start thinking about see the a full, like the full glass, right? Like the half full instead of half empty. So you can train yourself. So and that affects our moods, and that affects our, like, how we see our own unfolding, even in the discomfort of the emotion processing. And what I'm saying is not positive thinking and bypassing your way into your, like, manifestation. I'm not teaching that, no. So what I'm teaching is being able to be anchored in yourself and know yourself and, like, understand your emotions enough while cultivating a beautiful mind and knowing that this is happening for you, as you, through you, so uh really cultivating a beautiful mind, because that is informing in the real time what you're creating, and we are creating through our, like the overall moods, like, so. And we can see, like, people's faces, like, like they're like, think about a person who is angry and fear-based and, like, spent their lives like that, right? So it shows in the aura, it shows in the face, it shows in the bones, it shows. So, and then when you cultivate a whole different approach in your life, and then you see these people, they change. And I'll show you, like, I mean, I don't have a lot of pictures because of whatever reason, um, from those times, but, like, you can see it in my face, like how, you would think, like, my 21-year-old self would be more vibrant. No, like, I'm more vibrant in this moment, more radiant in this moment, because of the work that we're doing. So yeah, overall, the conversation comes back to anchoring. And anchoring into regulation doesn't necessarily mean that we're always going to be in this, like, epic mood, and we're always going to have this, like, epic capacity to hold all. That means we have the tools to be with it. That's it. It doesn't mean that, like, you're always going to be like rainbows and butterflies. No, it's just going to be a whole different perspective and way of living life. That's what it is. And that is the baseline that I want to create for myself and for anyone who comes into my field. That's the baseline that I'm holding for you, that, like, as a vision, so that we're not like the victims of our circumstances. And, like, we all get there. And I love animation, like animating these things. Like, I like, that's like, and that actually, that's the energy we go into the, because the is who, it's not who we are, right? It's not who we are. You're not this, like, victim of your circumstances. Like, if you're actually tapping into the truth of who you are, is God in everything. I am that I am. And you think you're limited. And then play those stories and that unfolding. That's why that's the baseline of healing and opening and expansion that I'm holding for myself, for humanity, as a vision. So that's what I'm feeding and praying into, and creating and holding space for as a pillar. And if you're interested in the teachings, in the fruits of this vision, it's BRL Medicine. You can go, what's today? 28th. 28th, on like next 3 days, the sale continues if you're interested in the course that I'm teaching and cultivate nervous system regulation tools and also understand and map where you're at and have a whole new level of language around it, and for your emotional literacy, for your subconscious mind, for like actual ultimate like healing work, and like from my perspective. And there's so many other ways to do it, and this is the my way. So that's what I'm inviting you into if you're interested in cultivating that anchor, that like strength, that expansion in your experience now. So what else happening in my field? In the portal, we're going to be working on a relational realms. We're doing mind renovation on June 9th. I think June 9th, Sunday. So Portal is my monthly membership community. It's only $27 a month. If you're interested, you just come and just check it out. You don't have to stay. It's not like minimum, like it's like you just come and check it out and enter, join the live broadcast if you want. And the course has, the Bureau of Medicine also has, if for those of you, because I know there are a lot of people, like I don't know, like I don't know, like how to just like sit and do the course. There's an add-on to the course as a voice coaching, which I'm not coaching your voice. I am like with my voice messaging, supporting you and keeping you accountable, and also supporting you like, like maybe go use these tools and maybe go use these tools, so you have access to me, so you can actually do the course in that way if that's actually maybe in more resonance with you. Or if you're interested, I am also mentoring amazing humans one-on-one. So if you're one of them, and if you think that like my approach and the way that I do things is in resonance with you, just apply. There's the application form on my links, both on YouTube and here on Instagram. So enter the field and let's do this work. And there's also, I haven't been writing about this, but I'm working on certain things right now that are going to be a whole new level of service in my field. I am also supporting people who are healers, teachers, mentors, coaches, to hold and bring their visions into life and as a practice. And maybe you already have a practice or you're just getting into it. So, there's a lot in that realm to come into your voice and come into your own medicine, come into your confidence in your center and serve from that place. So if you're interested mentoring with me in that realm, so that's also available. If you have any questions, just go ahead and DM me. And I am, most of the time, I'm the one who responds to that. And if it's not me, I will have access to the conversation after. So I can actually get back in touch with you. So let me see. That's pretty much it, you guys. Just stay close to nature. Stay close to nature and and feel. And it's hard, like what's coming up to surface, to feel all of it. But titration is key. What is titration here? I'll leave you with this, and I talk about this a lot. You don't have to feel all your feelings all at the same time. And small bits and pieces, you can create a process, because it's all a process. We are all work in progress, also the masterpiece simultaneously. So don't rush, don't like overwhelm your system, but be in it and know that everything that you're feeling and being walked into through life is part of your becoming. And I have deep faith in this. I was talking into this, like, it's, of course it's happening, like, in my experience. Of course it's my experience. So, shift your perspective to why it's happening to me, to, of course this is happening. I'm like, just extracting the medicine. That is the empowered version and perspective. So, and like constantly empowering ourselves and keeping our minds beautiful and clear, and clearing the dense emotional energetic content so that we can be anchored, regulated, discerning, and connected to our truth and our sovereignty. And from that place you can create, and you're part of this amazing, like, new template that we're all building together. So thank you very much for your presence and your attention and trusting me and listening to me. And I'm so grateful, and I'm not taking it for granted. And I love you so much, YouTube. Hello. I love you so much, Instagram. I love you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Blessings.